Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Itihāsology Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Chopra. Now, this episode is a little different from our previous episodes. Today I'm not narrating any historical story or taking a history class or having a guest with me to discuss things that fascinate all of us. Today is a little different because this short episode narrates a poem that I recently wrote dedicated to history. Why I have decided to record and publish this as a podcast episode is because I think the sentiments of the poem will resonate with our community based on our shared love for history. This poem, which I call A Love Letter to the Past, treats history as somebody who I'm having an affair with. And the poem involves many emotions. It deals with how, for me personally, history has been a vehicle to learn and unlearn so much, to introspect, and to fall deeper in love with our complicated and shared histories. It also comes from a place of gratitude, because it is through this subject that I have been able to meet so many wonderful people and also create such a brilliant community that constantly motivates me to do the work that we do here at Itihāsology. At the same time, the poem deals with problems we face with the subject, its vulnerabilities, and our own limitations while dealing with it. Now, I don't wish to elaborate further because I do want this poem to be understood in any way you want it to. It is open to interpretation and I do not want to cloud any judgments. So, I hope you enjoy. Without any further ado, here's the poem. At first, when I fell for you, it was an innocent affair. Naive and simple, you know the type where you think you know all about the one you desire? For me, it was so amusing. How could I fall for you? Fall for someone who was so easy to be repelled by. I must confess it was unpopular when it started, our affair. We were met with confusion and many inquired, from your exes to your abusers to your well-wishers. All they asked was, how is it that this is the one you desire? For he is the epitome of stubbornness. Future with him we see none. He never lets go, holds on to everything. They asked, aren't you afraid of your arguments? For he is armored with facts and truth he wears like an ornament. He says the same things and talks the same talk. You'll have to be the selfless lover here, they told me. But there I was in a moment they call God forsaken, that I embraced you and I became your selfless lover. Soon enough, the word of the critics came true. Days with you became monotonous, like those puppet shows where rapidly the sun comes up and the moon goes down, but though the days would change their face, you would tell the same story, sometimes with different names, but you would talk the same talk, same ideas you threw. Conversations became unbearable. You never listened, do you? I would ask, but fail to be satisfied, for the response was no different. So constantly I would rationalize, it's okay, it's fine, no harm, another chance. But then again and again, the days were so slow. I was getting exhausted of your puppet show. But then came that night. You said a few things and they left me colonized. Conquered was my soul. Vibrations were felt down my throat. I saw you that night. Your mask had fallen. I glanced at the mirror and witnessed a pot of shame. I saw Kabir. With shivers, I asked myself, did you talk the same talk, or did I not know you differently? Was it you speaking the same things, or did I never listen to your ocean of voices? Were there times when you didn't speak and just waited for me to seek you in your silence? Did I disappoint you? Were you the selfless lover? Then within me there was a confluence of emotions. Excitement blossomed, my eyes glittered with wonderment, but also my spine. It was wrapped in the heat of ignominy. Overcome I was. Inside me guilt married grief. It was the night of revelation. I wanted to gaze at you and lock you in my heart. I wanted to see you inside and outside. I wished to feel your forehead and immerse myself in your radiance. In you, I saw that light. Now I feel the rush. Now I think I'm getting to know you. You are my favorite actor. All that you do is theatrical. So well you play this game of pretend. How, my lover, how do you do it? How do you make yourself look so structured, so simple, so sophisticated? When entering you is to reach a maze, trapped one will feel like Ganga lost in the mighty locks of Shiva. They say you wear the ornament of truth, but I just see you decorated with vulnerability. You are the marble muse from ancient Greece, for we have forgotten the symphony of your shades. You know and I know and they know that once you are unveiled, you are a canvas of complications. Your webs are unsymmetrical, your shape drowns in changeability, and yet you play this game, you assume the form of lucidity. You play this game because you won't lift the veil and they won't unveil you, so you let yourself be used and abused by minds and souls that are so crude. You say what they want you to say. Do you yourself believe in what you say? You are a sea of stories of all the people you have ever met. So tell me, my lover, how can these stories be so simple when we are not? How can your tales please all? You can't please all, and you know though you try to please all, you still occupy a pedestal in the hall of unpopularity. So here and now I pledge, no longer do I possess the will to censor you. When your stories startle some with discomfort, I find in them a chance to contemplate. I find in them a moment to unlearn. There's a place beneath the same stories you tell. I call it the space of safety. I call it the mansion of inclusion. Now you are whatever I make of you. I get the gist of the pattern. I don't know whether it is evolution. Evolution, you know that quite well, don't you? But is it evolution to go from selflessness to selfishness? There might be moments with me, perhaps for you, that might be God-forsaken. I too have shaped you to fit you in a drawer I fancy. You might have felt misused, but I also try, for I too am a person. I too work with conditions. I too am bounded by the times. You may have found and tasted what emerged from the bottom when the ocean was churned, Amrit. But I am a mere mortal whose story you will remember, and thus I cannot be so simple, I cannot be so structured, I cannot be so sophisticated. So take some time to know me too, release me of my rigidity. I know there are many odds I may offer, but right now and right here, I beg you to embrace me as your selfish lover.